Hi everyone, Az here from HeelvsBabyface Watchmen. Now, before before the show finished, I had people messaging me saying, Az, you have to watch Watchmen. It's woke trash. And at the time, I was unfortunately already having to deal with plenty of woke trash in the form of Batwomans. So I was like, guys, I can't. Number one, you can't do this to me. Please God, you can't do this to me. And I just can't. I can't handle another show like that. But as time went on, as the series developed, I heard conflicting opinions. I had the woke trash in one ear, and I also had the actually, it's very good indeed in the other ear. Now, having not seen the series, when I do get completely polar opposite opinions about a show, it does make me want to see it. It does make me want to formulate my own opinion about it. But regardless of that, if you asked me this morning what is the current state when it comes to the show Watchmen, I would have said to you it's been renewed, because approximately a week or so ago I heard the narrative going around the internet that Watchmen had been renewed. When the renewals of the CW came out, we renewed everything because everything is failing. It was the same time as that. Oh, Watchmen has also been renewed for a second season. This article right here was written on the 7th of January, so 10 days ago, and it goes with the heading, HBO renewed the show Watchmen Season 2. But it's a lie. We only have to go to the second paragraph of the article to have the author tell us that they're a big fat liar. At the moment, the superior cabler, he's referring to HBO, has not renewed Watchmen. HBO renewed the show Watchmen Season 2. So there has, or apparently has been, some sort of campaign by the media to push the narrative that the show has been renewed, potentially in an effort to influence that decision. If I was to jump, for instance, to Rotten Tomatoes, you can see once again, quelle surprise, a very conflicting score when it comes to critics versus audience. And the hilarity of the situation is that when you create a television show, this is what you should be concerned about. Not this. At all. You're making the show for your audience. So, the 103 critics give it 96% out of whatever. Well, it's out of 100%, but it's not the way that Rotten Tomatoes works, because this in itself is not exactly truthful. It's 96% of critics gave it a fresh score. To get a fresh score, you only have to get what over 60%. It's a whole load of bollocks just to make it look good. But the audience, half of the audience nearly, reckon that this is not fresh at all. But that still went in line with the it's woke trash that I was getting in one ear, and in the other ear actually has it's really good stuff. You should probably check it out. Consistent. So audience-wise, consistent. Critic-wise, it's going in one direction. Not the boy band. I don't know if that's an old joke anymore. Probably. Let's move on. It's not awkward at all. So you could understand where that narrative seems to have come from. A critic base that want to see the show renewed. But I woke up this morning to this. Watchmen not renewed for a second season. Watchmen has actually been cancelled. Now, it doesn't matter why, because at the end of the day, the show's cancelled, it's not coming back. But the show wasn't cancelled for audience in terms of viewership. It wasn't cancelled because the viewership was low. And in actual fact, again, he's got all the facts and figures ready for this video, folks. If we have a look at the viewing figures, it starts off and dips, and then about midway through the season, ends strong. Now, this is HBO, so this is home box office. These figures are better than Supergirl on the CW, which has a much larger reach, not taking into account the Crisis episode that they had. This is pretty much, okay, maybe Supergirl's doing slightly better, but it is competitive with the bigger channels that go out in America. So this is decent. This is legitimately decent in terms of where the show stands with its audience base. And you have to see that the audience has remained, from start to finish, relatively consistent with growth towards the end. So when I heard that it was woke trash at the start, it seemed that people were inclined to that narrative until around, like I said, just after mid-season, where it suddenly picked up for a very strong end. Ladies. But if we go to this article, and if we have a jump back to this article as well, the narrative is very clear indeed. Gushing, 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 gushing. Just look at the way this one starts. HBO's Watchmen was one of the best shows of 2019. Nay, the decade. Okay, that's not at all hyperbolic. But cherish that first season as it was likely the last. However, the narrative seems to be the same. Political, 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 political. As a follow-up to the original graphic novel, rather than Zack Snyder's 2009 film, it breathes contemporary polemic life into a legendary story of politics, racism, and patriotism. So you can see why the media jump onto this. It seems, by their terms, Orange Man Bad. It's an Orange Man Bad show. That's what they want to play. And it plays into their victimhood as well. Of course, there's nothing like the current state of the media that is wanting to paint themselves as glorified victims. Everything is victimhood for them. So, in just 9 episodes, the first season explored the fallout of Ozymandias' alien massacre, the posthumous uprising of the 7th Cavalry, and of course, Dr. Manhattan. But the show's creator, Damon Lindelof, says he's told the story he wants to tell. He ain't coming back. Damon Lindelof. Now, I watched the first 2 seasons of Leftovers and part of the 3rd season. I don't know why I stopped watching the 3rd season. Apparently it's meant to be really good, and I do have to go back and pick it up at some time. I found the first season of Leftovers by him difficult to get through. Not because it was bad. I was enjoying the show. When I put it in inverted commas because I thought it was very compelling. I thought it was fascinating. But it was very dour. I mean, purposely so. It was very dour and therefore a bit of a slog to get through quite a bit of it. But it was so interesting and compelling about where it was going to go. I needed to see where the 2nd season went. And like I said, I need to pick up the 3rd and final season of that. So I think the man is tremendously talented. I think he also had something to do with Lost. I never watched Lost, so don't come at me, folks. And, of course, that seems to have a bit of, well, people don't like the way that show ended. But it's Jar Jar Abrahams as well, isn't it? So that guy has no idea how to finish things. He can create ideas, but he doesn't know how to finish a show. So it's actually been cancelled. Damon Lindelof said, I have done all I wanted to do. I've set up a story for 1 season. I've told the story that I want to tell. Yes, you can pass this over to another showrunner, but HBO has said, look, if you're not attached, we're not interested. And that's fair enough, because I think Damon Lindelof has got clout. He's got a lot of clout, especially after Leftovers. So, yeah, they're really investing in him as opposed to necessarily the IP that goes around it. And maybe it's a wise move with something being so conflicting when it comes to an audience. if he was to step away from the project and they get another showrunner on, this could get catastrophic, that could get catastrophic. Easily. Very easily indeed. But just one final thing, folks, that I want to go into, because I found this to be hilarious. The whole juxtaposition of this. In its daring 9-episode debut, Watchmen took a classic superhero story to essential illuminating places, acting both as a thrilling drama and a blistering indictment on the US's tumultuous culture. But then they quote the Times' Judy Berman, and she writes, "A lavish, transfixing epic, a potent but rarely heavy-handed metaphor for race relations in America." Hood, noose. Yeah, that is subtle as fuck, Judy. That is subtle as fuck. Okay, so there we go, folks. Watchmen, it ain't coming back, it's gone. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.